Hello, this is going to be lesson B7, absolute value equations. Basically, here we are asked to solve each absolute value equation below. So basically, with absolute value, you need to remember that anything that goes inside those bars becomes a positive. So basically, let's suppose I have a number x equals, let's say, 8. So basically, if I had an equation like this, I'm asking what values of x would make this 8. Okay? So basically, I could be positive 8 or negative 8 would give me this result, okay, or this answer. So basically, that's what it's asking. What is the value that inside the bar is going to give me this right side right here? Okay? With that in mind, what they decided to do is, whenever you have the absolute value by itself, you're going to break it into two parts. Basically, we're going to say that the inside over here, the 5w plus 3, could equals negative 7, or the 5w plus 3 could equal positive 7. There's two options here that could happen. Okay? So 5w plus 3 could equals negative 7, or it could be 5w, I'm making it a little darker because it's kind of hard to see, could equal positive 7. Alright, so let's go ahead and solve this, see what we get. Okay, and let me just adjust a little bit here. There we go. Alright, so basically, we're going to solve for w. So this would be 5w equals negative 7 minus 3. So 5w equals negative 10. Divide both sides by 5. W equals negative 2. So that's one of the answers. The other answer here will be 5w equals 7 minus 3. 5w, 7 minus 3 is 4. And we're going to divide both sides by 5. W equals 4/5. So that means we have two possible answers here. Okay. Now, one thing about absolute value, you need to check if the answers are valid, because it could occur that one of the answers is not going to work. So what we're going to do here on the space provided, we're going to check our answers. Basically, the way we check is we go back to where we split and we copy that, but instead of w, we're going to put the value that we're checking. In this case, we're checking negative 2. So we're going to plug it in, and we're going to see if it is equal actually 7. So let's see. This would be negative 10 plus 3 equals 7. And this would be absolute value of negative 7 equals 7. Is that true? Yes, it is. So that means negative 2 is part of our answer. Let's do the same thing with our other value. So we're going to do 5 times the answer here that we're checking, which is 4 over 5, plus 3. Is it equal 7? Okay, so basically I'm copying this, but instead of w, I'm plugging in the value that I found. So 5 times 4 is 20. 20 divided by 5 is 4. And 4 plus 3 is 7. Is the absolute value 7 equals 7? Yes, it is. So that means my answer is negative 2 and 4/5. And that's my answer for this problem. Okay, let's go on to do letter B and see what we get here. So let me move the problem a little bit here. Alright, so the absolute value is by itself, so let's go ahead and split it. So this would be 2x minus 3 equals negative 5, and 2x minus 3 equals 5. Now to get the x alone, I'm going to move the 3, so this would be negative 5 plus 3, and this would be 2x equals negative 2. Divide both sides by 2. X equals negative 1. Alright, let's do the other one. I'm going to move the 3 to the other side, so this would be 2x equals 5 plus 3. 2x equals 8. Divide both sides by 2. x equals 4. Alright, so now we're going to check. And we started where we split it, so it would be 2 times negative 1 minus 3. And the question is it equal to 5? So this would be negative 2 minus 3 is equal to 5. So this would be absolute value of negative 5 equals 5. And is this true? Yes, it is. Let's try the other one. 2 times 4 minus 3 is equal to 5. So this would be 8 minus 3. And this will be the absolute value of 5 equals 5, and that is also true. So the answer for this problem will be negative 1 and also 4. Okay? Alright, let's go to our last example here on this row. We have the absolute value of x over 2 minus 1 equals 11. Again, we're going to split it. So this would be x over 2 minus 1 equals negative 11. X over 2 equals 11 plus 1. Okay, some students try to move the 1 to the other side before they do the split, but no. Whenever the absolute value is by itself, that's when you split. Okay, don't move the 1 first and then split. You gotta get the absolute value by itself and then do the split. Okay, so this would be x over 2 equals negative 11 plus 1. X over 2 equals negative 10. How to get rid of the fraction? Put parentheses on both sides. Let's multiply by what's on the denominator, which is 2. So 2 times x is 2x. 2x divided by x by 2 is x. And negative 10 times 2 will be negative 20. Okay, let's do the same thing here. So this will be x over 2 equals 12. Put parentheses on both sides. We're going to multiply by 2. So this will be 2 times x is 2x, divided by 2 is x. And 2 times 12 is 24. Alright, let's do the check. So the first one is going to be negative 20 over 2 minus 1 is equal to 11. So negative 20 over 2 is negative 10. Negative 10 minus 1 is negative 11. And so that is true. The other one is going to be 24 over 2 minus 1 is equal to 11. 24 over 2 is 12 minus 1, and that would be 11, the absolute value of 11, and that is also true. That is equal to 11. So that means our answer is negative 20 and 24. Alright, let's continue on to the next problem. If you notice in this problem here, the absolute value is not by itself, so first order business is to move that 5 to the other side. So that's exactly what we're going to do. There's going to be the absolute value of 2x, and we move the 5 to the other side, so it'd be 7 minus 5. So this would be the absolute value of 2x equals 2. Okay, now that the absolute value is by itself, we're going to have 2x equals negative 2, and here we have 2x equals 2. So we divide both sides by 2. X equals negative 1 here, and here we divide it by 2. X equals 1. Alright, let's do the check. We do the check exactly where we split. So if I do 2 times negative 1, absolute value, is equal to, this would be absolute value of negative 2, and that is true. And here would be 2 times 1 is equal to. So it will be the absolute value of 2 is equal to, yes it is. I guess we run out of space here, so I'm going to write on the side here. The answer will be negative 1 and 1. Alright. Okay. This one, we don't have to do the split because 0 does not have a sign. So basically the answer here would be y equals 0. Because 0 would be the only number that I can put here that will make this true. Okay, so my answer is 0. Alright? Okay, let's go on to letter F over here, and letter G. Again, I need to get to absolute value by itself, so I'm going to move this 25 to the other side. So this would be 22 minus 25. So it would be 2 times the absolute value of x, and this would be negative 3. We can go ahead and divide it by 2, so this would be absolute value equals negative 1.5. Now, when we look at this, remember, anything inside the absolute value becomes positive. So in other words, we're saying that this side here is going to be equals a negative number. Now that's impossible. So what do? We write no solution, because this absolute value equation is impossible. Alright, let's continue to the next one. Again, it looks very complicated, but if you notice, it's saying the absolute value of this whole expression, or this whole equation here inside, equals negative 2, a negative number, and that's impossible. So we like this problem because there's not a lot of work to be done. All we have to do is write impossible. Okay? Alright, let's go ahead and go to the next one. This one is a little bit different because now I have absolute value on both sides. But the same idea is going to happen. You're going to take the absolute value here on the left is by itself. So what we're going to do, we're going to split. Okay? We want to write 3x plus 2 equals a negative, open parenthesis, 5x minus 8. So basically the negative of what's inside on the other side. And then we're going to write this side, 3x plus 2, is the same as the positive. And now we just have two equations that we have to solve. So basically this would be 3x plus 2 equals negative 5x plus 8. We got to distribute the negative. That's very important. Now let's move things around. So 3x plus 5x. And the 2 is going to go to the other side. So it would be 8 minus 2. So here I'm going to get 8x. And here I am going to get 6. And if I divide both sides by 8, I'll get x equals 3/4. Alright, let's see what we get on the other side. The other side we're going to move the 5, so this would be 3x minus 5x. And here will be negative 8 minus 2. So this would be negative 2x equals negative 10. We're going to divide both sides by 2, so this would be x equals negative 5. Very well. Now that I have two answers, remember you have to do the check. So let's do the check again. And when you do the check, you do it where you split. So we split right there. So that's what we need to use. We're going to use 3 times 3/4 plus 2 equals 5 times 3/4 minus 8. So this would be 9/4 plus 2. Okay, now this is a fraction plus a whole number, so we need to make sure they have the common denominator. So in other words, we're going to have to have a common denominator of 4. So what we're going to do is we'll multiply top and bottom by 4 over here. Okay, so that means this becomes 9/4. I mean, this stays 9/4. But the other one is 8/4. And on this side, this would be 15/4. And same thing is going to happen. I need the common denominator, so I'm going to multiply top and bottom by 4. So that means I'm going to get 15 over 4 minus 32 over 4. Now that they have the same common denominator, I can do the operations, which is 9 plus 8 is 17/4. And on this side, I'm going to get negative 17/4. And the question is this statement true? And the answer is yes. So that means this is a valid answer. We're going to do the same thing with the other answer. We're going to check. So we're going to do 3 times 5 plus 2, is that the same as 5? I'm sorry, it's a negative 5. So I'm going to put a negative there. Alright, negative 5 minus 8. So this would be negative 15 plus 2. And this would be negative 25 minus 8. So this would be negative 13. Is it equal to, whoops, you know what? I just found out that I made a mistake here. This is supposed to be a negative, so that means this is a positive. So sorry. These are positives. So there'll be positive 15. It'll be 17. And 25 minus 8 is also 17. So that means this will be true. Alright, so that means our answer is 3/4 and 5. Okay, it's very important that you do the check. I know sometimes it takes a long time, but it's very important because sometimes one of the answers might not be true, and then there we only have one of them. Okay, alright, and I apologize again for missing that sign. Just kind of show you how important it is, the sign. Alright, so let's go ahead and do the same thing here. The absolute value is by itself, so we're going to go ahead and split it. So this would be x minus 3 equals 5 minus x. If we solve this, this would be x plus x equals 5 plus 3. This would be 2x equals 8. Divide both sides by 2. X equals 4. This would be x minus 3 equals 5 minus x. So this would be x plus x equals 5 plus 8. This would be hello. Now we're going to do letter I. Basically we're going to split here and here. And here will be x minus 3 equals negative 5 minus x. So this would be x minus 3 equals negative 5 plus x. So this would be x minus x. Move the 3 to the other side, so it would be negative 5 plus 3. So basically this would be 0 equals negative 2. So in other words, the x disappears and we're left with a false statement. Okay? So that means I don't get an answer here. There's no solution on this side. So let's try this side. X minus 3 equals the positive of this. So this would be 5 minus x. So this would be x plus x equals 5 minus, plus 3, because you move the 3 and change the sign. So this would be 2x equals 8. And we divide it by 2. X equals 4. So in this case, I only have one answer. We still have to do the check. So let's do the check. And hopefully this will work. So basically, it's going to be the absolute value of 4 minus 3. Is that the same as the absolute value of 5 minus x? I'm going to plug it in 4 for x. So 5 minus 4. So this would be 1. And this will also be 1. So that is true. So that means for this problem I have an answer of 4. Alright, so this is the answer for letter I. Alright, and this concludes the lesson for B7. Okay, the assignment for this problem is on the back side of the paper. Okay, and include all these problems. So thank you very much for your time and have a great day.